In today's society, I have noticed too many people do not want to compromise. They don't want to give. They always want to receive. They want the benefits, but they don't want to put in the work. Even what they have to gain or lose, that never crosses their mind. I'm gonna give you an example. So, people want more money, but they don't think about, okay, I want more money, but what do I need to do? Better yet, what is the cost? What is the cost going to be to gain more money? And able to gain more money, you have to put in more, you have to work, you have to put in more hours. Then a person might say, okay, I don't want to work all these hours. I don't want to do the hard work, the hard labor work. Okay, if you don't want to do that, then you have to invest. And then while you're investing, you have to wait for some interest. You have to wait for the return. Then a person might say, okay, I'm not trying to wait that long. I'm not trying to wait 6 months or 5 months. Okay, now it's like you have to be really good in sales if you want exact returns, if you want to make exact amount the same day or the same week or pretty much the same day. You have to make sales. You have to sell a product or a service. That is just a main example. So the thing is, if you can't compromise, and this goes into relationships too, for men and women. So for the men, I'm going to speak a little bit about the men, and then I'm going to speak about things that a woman would have to compromise with. So for us men, if we want to be in a relationship, even if you don't pursue, even if the women come up to you, right? Because some of us fellas, we have that charm, we have the typical look, and those that have the typical look, the typical height, that attraction, they don't have to work as hard versus an average person like myself. But even for the men that's attraction, they still giving up time. Money has to be spent. Even the woman may pay the majority of it, But there is he's still giving up something. Maybe not as much, but he's giving up something. There's still a compromise. But in that scenario, the woman is compromising more, is giving more than the man is, and that's in that scenario. So on the men's side, we know we have to compromise. There's always a give and take. The question you ask yourself is, can you live with that choice? Can you live with that decision that you have made or that you have given? If you feel bad or angry of doing something, then don't then don't do it. Just don't do it. Now, if you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on dates, simple, don't do it. You're the driver. You say, here, this is where we're going. I have a plate. I have something for us. Here's what we're going to do. And if that woman is not into that, then she's free. She is free to to decline. And just be at peace of her moving on, because she wasn't your type that was meant for you. She was just not it. She didn't have the mindset that you have. That wasn't your mate. As the term says, okay, you dodged a bullet. You dodged problems. Okay. Now on the woman's side, right? So the women have to compromise as well. And women do compromise. And they do settle. Regardless if they say, I'm not settling this, I'm not settling. They have settled. Hence, their past relationships. They have settled for guys that put no effort at all. And guess what? She did not mind it. She didn't care. She was glad to do that because she was really into that guy. She was really into that guy. So she has compromised. Just like on jobs, right? When you work, we have managers, we have bosses, we have staff that we have to answer to. We're compromising in that because at work we have to do things or do assignments that we don't want to do, but it's in the job description, and sometimes we're not. Even if it's not in the job description, a lot of times we compromise on that. So if you don't compromise, if you can't compromise, then you automatically forfeit. It's an automatic forfeit. For another example, if there's a job that you want, but you have to be there at a certain time at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you say, I don't want to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. And then you have these thoughts, why should I wake up and why should I be there at 8 o'clock, or even for a meeting? Why should I go to this meeting at 8 o'clock? Well, then, don't go. But you can't get mad at the results. You can't get mad at your manager or at staff if they decide to let you go or decide to give the position to someone else because you didn't go to that meeting. See, if you would have went to that meeting, you more than likely would have benefited for that position. So you forfeited in relationships. So for the women that says I don't want to settle. Yes, I make all this money. Why should I settle for a man that I make more than? What can he do for me? Why should I settle? Okay, don't settle. All right, don't settle. But then you can't get mad on why you can't attract the man that you want. See, the man that you want you want the man to make more money than you, right? But those men that make more money than you, they have rules and regulations. That they have a set program, and if you can't go with their program, they're not dealing with you. Okay, they're just not, and you can't get mad at them because they put in the work, they put in the time, they put in the effort, they paid the price, and on their end they have made compromises. See, they have compromised whatever they compromise to be at the level that they are at. So you have to ask yourself again, if I want this type of man, I have to cater to that man's needs, to the man that I want. And by doing that, by you catering to the man's needs, he's going to provide. He's going to do the things that you like for him to do, that you want him to do. And then for the men, now, men, if you are going for a certain type of woman that dressed a certain way, that grabbed your attention, a goddess, or the term a bad chick, right? Don't be surprised if she's acting like a bad chick, if she's doing the things that's attracting and doing all this post or whatever. You can't get mad at her. You can't get mad at her if she continues. Don't go with those type of girls, those flashy women, the ones that want to show off and do A, B, and C. Stick to your comfort level, your speed. Stick to your speed, right? That's the evenly yoke. Approach the ones that have your mindset, men, fellas, gentlemen. Approach the ones that have your type of mindset if you want to take if you're serious about that girl that you with. Now, if it's just whatever to you, then you can't get mad. You just shrug your shoulders and you just keep it moving. But my point is this: both sides, it's a compromise. In this life, you have to compromise, or else you're automatically going to forfeit. Okay? Just like if you want to gain muscle, if you want to be in shape, if you want to be healthy, if you want the benefits, you're compromising your time. Okay? You're compromising your shows that you miss, the movies, relaxing. You're compromising that time that you are staying on the couch and eating a whole bunch of junk food and going a bunch of fast food places. If you want to be healthy, you have to cut the fast food. You can't eat a lot of fast food and expect to be in shape. You can't get mad. You can't get mad at a place that if it's high in sodium and not so good ingredients. You can't get mad at the place. You have to expect it's going to be salty. It's like going to a cookout, going to a barbecue, and expecting it to be healthy, right? Now, if you go to a barbecue, right, you just have to look for healthier options. But you can't get mad at the people around you that's eating pork chops and all this greasy foods, and then you have to settle for a salad and corn on a cob. If you're on a diet, and you can't, and you say to yourself, I don't want to eat meat, I just want to eat fruits and vegetables. You can't get mad if you're at a place where you're surrounded by meat. That's insane. You compromised both ends, because for one, you shouldn't have went to that place that had all the stuff that you can't eat. So now you're at a fight. You're in this fight or flight mode. Okay. Again, all through this video, compromise. We're all have to compromise. We're all compromising in something. The question to leave with: what are you willing to compromise? That's the question you have to ask yourself. How much are you willing to compromise? You have to be honest with yourself. Now, if you don't want to compromise in certain things, ask yourself another question. With the results, will I be satisfied? Will I be at peace at the results if I don't compromise? Am I okay with that? And if the answer is yes, you're okay with that, then there you go. But if you're not okay with that, and you quote unquote don't want to compromise, then you have to look within yourself. You have to do the work. If not, if you can't make a decision, life is going to make a decision for you, whether you like it or not. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts.